The troubled times we have at the moment, if you look at the economy, the downturn in the economy, the problems in the financial markets, and people really suffering on a day-to-day basis from the rise that we saw in oil prices, in food prices. At a time like that, you need a government that is actually going to focus on those problems for people and actually find solutions for them. What we've got today is a government that is divided, it's fighting amongst itself, and it's not giving attention to the issues that really matter to people.
And history shows us, doesn't it, that once a party is so busy looking inwards and in itself fighting, it never really recovers, does it? Is the answer for a general election?
Well, we believe, because of the state that things are in at the moment, that we should have a general election, because the government clearly isn't doing the job that they're supposed to be doing. They're far too busy looking at their own issues, they're far too busy fighting amongst themselves, looking internally, not considering the problems that the country is facing. So we think there should be a general election.
And there are real problems out there. You've been in Chester recently supporting Stephen Mosley's campaign about the cost of living, and this is something that affects every single household. It doesn't matter how rich or how poor you are, the cost of living affects everybody.
The cost of living does affect everybody, and there are some people who are finding life really difficult these days because of the way the cost of living has been going up. And particularly, obviously, if pensioners who are on fixed incomes finding it very difficult, but others as well, meeting those increased fuel prices, meeting the prices of increased food prices. These are causing people problems in their day-to-day life, and what they want is a government that first of all understands those problems. And what we saw from Gordon Brown and the whole fiasco over the 10p tax issue is he didn't actually understand the situation of people who were lower paid. We need a government that understands people's problems, that has answers to those problems, and that is clearly focused on those issues, and not like today's government, a government that frankly is out of touch and divided.
I read in the papers that you still think much has to be done upon pay equality, is that right?
Yes, I've recently launched a campaign on equal pay. It's on Facebook, it's Theresa May for equal pay, and I'm hoping that people will sign up to it cross-party, because we want to say to the government, let's come together, let's actually deal with this issue. It is over 30 years since we first had equal pay legislation in this country, yet on average the gender pay gap between men and women is that men earn 17.2% more than women. That means that an average woman will earn £300,000 less over her lifetime. We've got to address this issue. We've got some clear proposals on tightening up the legislation, improving flexibility in the workplace, and on improving careers advice to young women. And what we want to do is to get people signed up to the campaign, Theresa May for equal pay on Facebook, and then we can actually say to the government, please, let's do something about this. It's a real issue. Let's actually deal with it.
OK, last point. I mean, the timing of the general elections down to the Prime Minister, Gordon Brown. You're leader of the House of Commons. Are the Conservatives ready, and are you ready with the legislative framework should the Conservatives win a general election whenever it is called?
Yes, I never predict election results, and I believe it's important for political parties not to be complacent about the situation. But given the way everything is going, it's important for us as the opposition to be preparing for the possibility of government, and we've been doing just that, not just in terms of our policies, but also having a piece of work with Francis Maud, my shadow cabinet colleague, working on how would we implement that in government, what would a legislative programme look like, where would the priorities be, so that we know that if we do win that general election, we can actually start addressing the problems that this Labour government has left people with immediately we get in.